how I make more money by trading less. Now, this is the God honest truth for trading prop firms. Okay. Today I made $500 on one single trade. And again, it wasn't like I kind of waited all day for this setup to happen. So let me kind of give you a little bit of a backstory on how this played out. Off the open, I took a few trades. I made money on a couple of funded accounts. Well, I have an evaluation account that's kind of sitting around, and I thought, you know what? Let me go get a coffee. I'll come back and see if the market's still moving downwards today. And if I find something, I'll take that trade. So what I was kind of looking at here, and I won't spend too much time on this, but what I was kind of looking at were these lows right here, right? I was looking at those lows, looking at this back test into a whole lot of supply, and then starting to look at us fall down. And when I was looking at us fall down, I was kind of telling myself, well, if we break this price action, right, if we can get some wicks or we can get some closes through that low of day, which is happening right here, I'm interested in taking a little bit of a short, right? Try to make some quick cash. And that's exactly what I did. I put on a few mini contracts and I made $500 very, very quickly. Like the entire trade time only lasted about 15, 20 seconds. And sometimes you guys kind of run into that as well, where you get into a trade and you take a trade and it wins and it's, it happens to work out. But what I want to talk about is how just a couple of minutes after I took that trade, I almost decided to take another trade. And then I had a little bit of a light bulb that went on. Do I want to take another trade and potentially give all of this $500 back, even though it's an evaluation? And even though we don't want to spend too much time on the evaluations, but I just kind of started to reflect and I said, if I was in a funded account, if this was one of my funded accounts, would I take another trade? And the clear answer was no. The clear answer would have been no, just due to the fact that I'm not really looking to, make $1 million a day. What I want to do is get into the markets. I want to make a few $100, a couple $100, and kind of just come back tomorrow and take those payouts nice, steady, and slow. But that feeling and that thought of I can make more, it always comes up, right? The mindset is why most traders never get funded or stay funded, right? The truth is you make way more money trading less, especially if you're trading prop firms like Apex or, Top One Futures, day traders, Top Step, whatever firm that you trade, right? You make way more money by trading less, okay? So I want to go over a couple of talking points here. Maybe you guys can take something away from this video. The first one is instant gratification, okay? This, to me, kills a ton of prop firm traders. So here's the trap. You take one good trade, take one really good trade, and then your adrenaline starts to hit, and you think the next setup is going to be just as clean. But after you take your best trade of the day, your edge actually goes down in the market, right? Your patience, discipline, energy, it's already mentally spent. Sometimes you're waiting an hour for your trade. Sometimes you're very excited off the open, take a quick trade off the open, it wins, and then you spend the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just mentally draining your energy, trying to find that next big trade. Okay. Prop traders, okay. Prop firm traders, those of you guys who are out there trading prop firms, which is the most of us out there, fail because they're forcing their second and third trades after already hitting a goal, right? If the whole goal is to sit around and wait for a trade and hopefully win that trade, you've just done your job, right? Like your job is over. Regardless if you're happy with the dollar amount or you're not happy with the dollar amount, your job is finished, right? So think about that next time you win a trade very, very quickly, or maybe you take a losing trade and then your second trade happens to be the winner that puts you into the green. Think about it. It's not necessarily about trying to make more. It's just about doing your job, right? So the more you trade, the more chances you're giving yourself and you're giving your psychology to mess shit up. Okay. It's natural human nature that you're going to mess things up the longer you sit around and trade. The next one is, what I want to talk about is why trading less makes you more consistent, right? Because the math is about compounding. You want to compound consistency. So if you make $300 to $500 a day and you stop, you're stacking weekly P&Ls of $1,500 $2,000, $2,500 a week with almost no emotional drawdown. You can't build your account in one day. So a lot of you guys want to go out there and you want to pass in one day, you want to make $1 million in one day. It can happen where you pass an evaluation in one day, but the odds of you doing it time and time again is just not going to happen unless your whole business model is set up where you're going out there and buying 10 or 20 evaluations at a time with the anticipation that you're probably going to fail half of them in exchange for maybe passing 40 to 50% of them in one day by trading very, very large size. Now there's business models out there that do that, but I'm just talking about for the normal trader, right? So you build it up over time. Like you want to really build your accounts up over time, surviving longer than everyone else, right? Because the average person, again, I've talked to a few prop firm owners and people that work kind of behind the scenes. The average trader who gets into a funded accounts that holds their funded accounts for longer than 3 to 5 days is slim. It's slim. It's like 15 to 20% of actual funded traders do not blow up their accounts after the first week that they're funded. Why is that? A lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of eagerness, right? So for example, things like in Apex, you have a trailing drawdown. The longer you stay flat and green, the less chance you have of hitting that line, right? So again, the more you trade with a firm like Apex that maybe has a trailing drawdown, you're opening up the doors to potentially, tapping into that trailing drawdown, right? Just hit your high water mark, hit your 1 scalp, 2 scalps, and walk away. Keep your balance nice and high. You don't get paid for being in the markets. You don't get paid for all of the hours that you're doing back testing. You don't get paid, per hour, every hour that you're sitting in front of the screens. You get paid for being right. Right? So if you're right and you're right quickly, or maybe you're right only one trade and it's the first trade that you take, it's probably safe and smart to walk away. The prop firm advantage is, let me discuss a little bit about prop firms, right? And some of the advantages, disadvantages, and things that I see. Prop trading is about consistency, right, guys? I mean, you even here, again, we all know that prop firms want you to fail. They want you to reset those accounts. They want you to buy more accounts. That's how they make money. There's no secret there, right? But prop trading is about consistency. It's not about taking the hero trade. It's not about the YOLO. It's not about if I can make $500 today, maybe that next trade's going to get me up over 1,000. No, make $500, walk away. If you make $500 a day, and again, this is not going to happen every day, but if you make $500 a day and you walk away, that's $10,000 a month across 10 accounts. Okay. That's the beauty about prop firms, is the scalability factor in not just being able to, trade one account. If you're on a personal account, you can only trade one account with one balance, right? So if I sit here all day trying to turn $500 into $2,000, I end up giving back half, right? And again, it's natural, right? Like there's been days where I try to push it and I might be up $1,000, and then the next trade I take, it's still on heavy size and I give back $700, and now I'm only in the green $300, right? It's not a good feeling because it gives you that, urge to want to make it back, right? So the way that I've done it and the way that I've seen a lot of people do it, where they're actually making money consistently with prop firms, is by just surviving, right? You want to have the discipline to just survive. Like imagine you want to keep the lights on, right? You want that electricity to stay on. You do not want the lights to get shut off, because if they do, then your account's blown. If they do, you got no more money left, right? So the prop firms are going to reward the traders who are trading small, they're trading boring, they're staying disciplined, they're not gambling, right? There's been a few people, a few people, maybe it's even yourself, that has gambled your way to a payout, but it's not consistent. You always feel like you're on the fence, you're on the edge, like when's the next payout going to come? Just take things slow. Like I've spoken to a lot of traders who get paid out. The average trader that gets paid out like monthly, they're taking 25 to 35 days to get that account to pay out. Okay. So just really think about what that math looks like. Okay. So again, just to kind of, go over like a rule of thumb that I would have. If you hit your daily goal in the first trade, close your platform. Like, I don't care if it's been the first minute that the market's been open. There's no reason to sit there and watch for another trade. So let me give you an example. Let's say you trade the 15-minute ORB and you wait the 15 minutes, you take the ORB maybe on the break and retest, maybe on the first break, whatever the case may be. And let's say you take it on one mini contract and you take it for 12 points. So let's say now you're up $225 or $210 or whatever the case may be. Walk away. It doesn't mean, okay, great, that trade worked. Now where's the next trade? That's where people get into a lot of problems, is they say, okay, now what? No. If the goal coming into the market was to trade the 15-minute ORB, and the 15-minute ORB paid you a profit, you walk away. You come back, you do it again tomorrow, and you do it again the next day. And then you start filtering in and trading more accounts on top of that, maybe by, having a basket of accounts that you can go through and trade. So let me just leave you guys with this final note, this final message. Every trader wants to make more money. It's no secret. Okay, we all do it. We all want to make as much money as we can. Every trader wants to make more money, but real traders who take payouts consistently, okay, know when enough is enough. And you have to know when enough is enough based on your account size. If you're sitting there trading $1 million account, okay, then sure. Are you really going to walk away when you hit $100 winner? No, it doesn't really mean anything to you. But when you're trading a prop firm account like Apex and you have $2,500 worth of drawdown, you have a $2,500 account. So if you go out there and make $200, $500, you're making 10, 15, 20, 25% of your entire account balance in one trade, which also means you're also risking that as well. So think about that for a second. Trading less means less risk, less emotions, less exposure to random Trump tweets and random news that breaks away. And that's how you survive the prop firm life. Okay, that's how you survive trading prop firms. If you're in Apex or any other prop firm, the number one thing to focus on is just that consistency. $300 days, $200 days, $100 days. Focus on that initially. Can I make $100 today? Can I make $100 tomorrow? How many days can I go out there? Challenge yourself. How many days can you wait for the best setup and make $100? How many days can you do that in a row, right? Hit the base hit, walk away, close the platform, come back tomorrow. I don't care if you're trading for 5 minutes or you're trading for 5 hours. Wait for your setup, win, lose, or draw, take the trade, walk away. Win, lose, or draw, the next day, walk away. Keep doing that. See what the results are after 30 days. See what the results are after 45 days. If this hits home, guys, subscribe, comment below. Tell me your worst over trading story. I would love to hear about it in the comment sections. And again, if you guys are trying to get funded, some of the prop firms that I use and recommend, you can find those links, discount codes down in the description box below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Again, the less you trade, the longer you last. The longer you last, the more you make. I'll see all of you guys on the next one.